yeah, I just need a routine. I've been letting myself go for the last couple of days. Still working out though. Still very active. Actually, probably more active than ever. I think last week I worked out 7 days a week. Actually, no, 6 days. 6 days. This week will hopefully be 7. My hamstrings are on fire. I've never had pain in that specific area of the hamstring before, so yeah, I don't know what to say about that. So we'll give it a couple minutes, guys. We'll get people to come. We can start off with some dad jokes. I have some dad jokes.
Before that though, we'll do a poll, like how many people have started cutting their hair at home.
Oh yeah, there's that post on why you shouldn't cut your own hair.
Why you should cut your own hair.
Just get a bowl and just.
Maybe that's what we'll live feed.
Yeah.
In a few weeks, Sonny can cut my hair.
I can learn how to cut hair on Brandon. Well, I'm growing my hair out anyway, so I'm pretty happy with this because I don't need to go to the hairdresser anyways. I need to clean up soon, but I'm getting lots of gray hairs that I see on the side.
Hey Zoom people, just gonna wait a little bit before we get started today.
What up, Zoom? I'm getting people to do it. Okay, dad jokes. What's the thing? You're not supposed to laugh, right, when you read it?
I think so.
That's the thing. We won't total this. Maybe I'll start. I don't know if this is still cool. Oh yes, you can have all the pens. Okay, Brandon, what did the drummer call his twin daughters?
I don't know.
Anna 1, Anna 2.
Nice.
You can pick one if you like. I printed off some jokes. We'll start with dad jokes because we ran out of banter. Because I'm like, well, we'll talk about our days, but there's not really much to do because you can't really do anything. Weather, don't want to talk about that. It's cold.
Oh, I like this one because it's a good movie. What's Forrest Gump's password?
I don't know.
1 Forrest 1.
That's pretty funny. All right, Robert. Okay. All right. What do you call a bear without any teeth?
I don't know.
Gummy bear.
That's good too.
This is just gold. Oh, Brooke likes that joke. Okay. We've got a few more. We got a couple more minutes to kill. And you guys at the university got to tell everyone about this.
Yeah.
Share it.
Our dad jokes.
Tomorrow I want like 50 to 100 people signing in. It's currently at 7. We want more. Okay, Rob's got one.
Oh, nice. Okay.
What do you call a melon with a positive attitude?
I don't know.
I don't know. What's the answer, Rob? A cantaloupe.
Cantaloupe. Nice. Oh man.
Of course, Rob would have one. That's pretty good.
Want to hear a joke about construction?
Yes. What's the joke?
I'm working on it.
And feel free to share your funny dad jokes. Okay, wait. Did you hear about the chameleon who couldn't change color?
No.
He had a reptile dysfunction.
I like that.
That's a good one. Oh, you got Anju here. Admit. Anju in the house. Is this a good view? Maybe I should raise it up or no? Is that okay?
We're
tall.
Yeah.
Cillian joined. Hello, Cillian. Say hi to my son for me.
Hello, everybody.
And tell him he should be joining into this. Any other dad jokes anybody has, they can type it out and send it to us or just put it on the feed. No jokes yet. Okay, another minute or two. There are a couple more.
Go for it.
There's one of your favorite movies or series, I guess. There's like 40 of these movies. How did Darth Vader know what Luke got him for Christmas?
I don't know.
He felt his presence.
That's good.
I'm not good at this because I'm just laughing at each one. Hopefully Zoom likes that. Any jokes that you guys know of, dad jokes?
You can type it in.
You can type it in into the group chat. Oh, Shahad missed the joke. There might be one dad joke left. I'll give it to you.
Why did the picture go to jail?
I don't know why.
Because it was framed.
Oh, wow, that's true.
That's
Ouch. That was good. That was good. Should I tilt this up a little bit more?
Yeah, we can go.
Let me grab.
I got
grab
my
some. Okay.
close tilted.
Couple more minutes, guys. Hopefully, don't lose anybody due to these jokes. And today's actually nice because I don't really have to do anything.
Me neither.
That's good. Oh yeah, we're just gonna sit here and look at each other. So the last special guest, well, not even guest, was Rob. He's a part of the team, the family. Same with Brandon. So he did vestibular rehab on Tuesday. Brandon's going to be presenting on pain science today. And then we'll do some more specialty stuff next week. We'll probably do, I guess I should do the TMD issues. So I'll prepare something. I'll need a model though. I'll have to maybe punch Brandon in the face and cause some TMD.
Should get like a mannequin or something.
A mannequin, yeah. I can make a model. I have enough time. I can make like a soap model
and I like it.
Make it articulate. Wait, there might be one joke here. This is good. If a child refuses to sleep during nap time, I will go resisting arrest. Arrest?
Arrest.
That's good.
That's good.
That's a good one. Okay, good. Hey, hello, everyone. Oh, Sydney in the house. Hello, Sid. Cillian, hello. And we got some physios in the house too, so we got a good group. And continue to tell people about these things. We're gonna do this every day of the pandemic. So we're gonna be going live every day, different topics. So next week we're thinking of doing like sciatica, SI joint issues, and whatever else you guys want. Maybe we'll do one day of just what made us become physios, what gets us up in the morning and excited to work and things like that. So look out for that. Oh, my son, Brandon. Hello, my son. He is joined. Now we can start.
Perfect. It's waiting.
Now we can start. He says hello.
Perfect.
Come visit me sometimes. It gets lonely, Brandon.
Okay.
At a distance, at a 2-meter distance.
6 feet.
6 feet, sorry. Which is, that's pretty much 2 meters, yeah. We should know because we're Canadian. That's okay, Brandon. You're late. It's cool. You didn't miss anything. All right. This is where I do nothing and just listen.
Okay, well, I guess without further ado. So I think we probably have a mix of clinicians, students, and probably patients as well. So I'm going to try and I'll kind of divide into a few things. One is I'll try and be as simple as possible with certain things. And then I will get technical in a few areas as well. But generally, our plan today is we're going to give a bit of a background in as far as pain management. We're going to talk about measurement. I think that's important. And then finally, we'll finish off with a little bit of management strategies and just kind of current issues from that end as well. Yeah. So I think pain science it's not really a science. I don't think it's a true area of research on its own. I think it kind of falls into the umbrella probably more, if you're thinking more hardcore science-wise, neuroscience, I think it probably falls underneath that.
Yeah.
And I think it also falls, of course, in our field, which we're interested in, of course, is rehabilitation, right? And physical therapy. Of course, you can take the opposite end of the spectrum. And you can say they are the pain gods, are the anesthesiologists.
Yeah.
I don't know, right? Like there's a big spectrum of what pain management is. For our talk today, we're going to keep it non-pharmaceutical, totally non-pharmaceutical management. That's a whole other debate.
Oh, shoot. Oh, God. What happened? Why did it delete? Well, that's not good.
Sorry, Zoom people. We're going to hold up real quick. We're having some technical issues.
I don't know why it ended like that.
Maybe the Wi-Fi cut out.
I don't know. Well, sorry, guys. We'll have to...
Yeah, Zoom people, we're going to just hold for probably another 3 minutes again, just
Sorry, guys. Don't know what happened there. I think maybe the Wi-Fi cut out or something like that. So we'll give it another minute.
Yeah.
Sorry again, guys. We'll get everyone back on.
Sorry about that.
Hopefully we get everyone. Rob's back.
Thank
He
goodness.
is back. Jeez, man. Sorry again, guys. Don't know what happened there. I think it was the Wi-Fi. If it does happen again, just make sure you find us again.
I was reading a bit on just server demands and broadband, just how many more people are working from home and just how much capacity, and of course people streaming, and we're definitely testing the limit of the interwebs.
We are, for sure, because the live is supposed to be like 60 minutes from what I know, but it's never cut me out like that. One day it cut out because I went over an hour.
Yeah.
So sorry, guys.
Yeah, sorry, Instagram people.
Sorry.
I'll give one more minute here. So
we'll give another minute. Hopefully everyone finds us again, but
maybe we got censored by the Instagram.
I don't know.
Somebody.
Maybe the pharmaceutical
company.
Maybe they just
they censored us.
We're gonna lose lots of money. Sorry, pharmaceutical. That was a joke, but also kind of real. And I think most of everyone found us again. We can get started.
I guess what I was talking about. So the purpose of our talk today is we are going to stick in the realm of non-pharmaceutical pain management. Of course, the whole realm of pain management is quite complex, but we'll kind of talk in our scope from what we know best. So from my end, it's kind of like I'll give that disclosure talk before you listen to a presentation at the university of who your of conflicts you might have or whatever. So from my end, no conflicts, kind of what I'm talking about. I'm going to give some shameless plugs though on research that I'll be doing. I guess that's a bit of a disclosure. So just as far as people that don't know me as well, let's get a bit of a background from how I got into kind of pain management. One was a little bit through the CPA, Canadian Physical Therapy Association. And then I also completed my graduate certificate in pain management through the University of Alberta. And I decided to say, hey, you know what, let's just keep going with this train.
Let's just keep rolling.
So then I started my PhD as well. So part of my research that I'm interested in doing is group-based programs, exercise-based programs for specifically chronic low back pain. So that's kind of my disclosure. So if I'm biased between certain subjects or not, that is why.
Good. Now you can do whatever you want after.
Exactly.
You can say whatever you want.
Okay, so so let's talk a little bit of background. Unfortunately for everybody out there, or fortunately, we are going to talk a little bit of anatomy because I think specifically neuroanatomy, just because I think we can't talk about basic components unless we just break it down real simple. So I'm not an artist, but I will try my best. Maybe Sunny should be my drawer.
Oof, I don't know. Rob's the one who can draw.
I know. I think Rob's our best. Actually, such a good artist.
Yeah, he's pretty good. Really good. There's that video of the last post that he made. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Looks like a sun and a comet.
Okay, so all our PT students and PTs out there should know what this looks like, or what this is, sorry. So it's of course a nerve cell. And what we're looking at here, let's see if I can look opposite to my hand movements. Oh, there we go. So here we go. We got the cell body, the line down the middle, that's our axon. And finally, we got these long finger-like things known as our dendrites. That shouldn't be new to any clinicians out there, but maybe patients. That's kind of generally what a nerve cell looks like. And we'll test Sunny real quickly here.
Oh gosh.
Some neuroanatomy.
I don't like being tested.
Generally, in our brain, the axon, what's special about the myelination?
I was going to say it has a myelin sheath.
Yeah.
Transmits faster.
Makes things quicker, right? Yeah. Generally, if you hear white matter, you've probably heard that before.
Yes.
If you look under a microscope or something, white matter, of course, is myelinated sheaths. And again, think of that as your conductor on a, conductor.
On a train? Or
Whatever.
I don't know.
It helps conduct it at a quicker rate. Having said that, outside your brain, of course, or outside your central nervous system, what we have as pain receptors can vary quite differently. And some of these receptors don't have myelinated sheaths, which mean they are
Unmyelinated, demyelinated.
slower.
Slower, yes.
Yeah,
I was
slower
thinking of
speed.
the correct term. Yes, slower.
Yeah, slower speed. So in general, our transmission. So let's say something happens and you want to move something or you feel something. We got to go this way down the line. Okay. Everybody can see that there. Of course, that happens at a lightning quick speed. I don't think we'll get into thresholds or kind of the biochemistry that goes on into that area, but it is biochemically related, how we get a conduction as far as a signal from that end as well. All right, so I'm going to erase this even further. Erase it, I guess.
Erase. And it's gone now.
It's gone forever.
For anybody who, sorry guys, again, we had to, I don't know why the video live feed ended, but we restarted. So thanks for finding us again, guys. And hello, Zach. It's been a while.
Okay, so what I think I'll do is on my Zoom people here, instead of me drawing out all three of them, I'm going to share. And I want to, give me 2 seconds here.
I can grab this. And the things might be reversed on the Instagram post just because we're using the other camera, so I can flip back and forth.
Yeah.
Because if you write things, it'll all be backwards.
Oh yeah, good point.
Unless you have a mirror at home and then put them, but that's probably easier for me to switch the camera.
Oh, this is my favorite diagram. I think it's finished.
Yeah,
too.
should I?
Oh no, I don't want the web page. We don't want some shameless promotion on our website here.
All those pictures of
this is your favorite one, I think. Yeah, I think we all learned this classic one.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, Zoom people, I'm going to share with you. Just give me 1 second.
Might be funnier to us than some of you, but
yeah,
it's okay. You have to listen at this point. You don't have a choice.
And I guess if you're U of A students, you probably have seen this picture.
Yes.
Because it's
there are some students, some physios, new graduates, things like that. So I'm just going to flip it over. Oh, it was a nice view of the clinic there.
All right, so Zoom people, you can probably see my screen here, which is great. Instinct people. So we got types of nerve fibers, okay? And then as Sonny and I talked about, they kind of vary in speed. That's a key concept. We got our 747 MAX planes.
Currently grounded.
Which are super quick conduction. So think about stuff that needs quick processing, so proprioception. A beta fiber is also super quick too. You touch something, you know what it is, you know what it kind of feels like. A delta, they're also relatively quick. Think of them like as your, what are these guys? Bikers, cyclists. Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Cyclists, racing.
Lance, I wonder if Lance is in that one.
Yeah, maybe not Lance. Maybe Lance isn't in that group. And then finally, I call these like the dopey pain receptors. These are your C fibers. These guys are kind of funny because they're super slow and they're not myelinated, which makes their conduction rate actually they're like your speed walkers at the mall compared to these guys here.
Social distancing.
Social distancing.
Yeah, that looks like us.
But you can see, I think it has actually conduction speed in milliseconds. Like, so these are quite slow. And you think of 80 to 100 milliseconds. I mean, that's like lightning quick.
Yeah.
As far as measuring, that would be pretty tough. So my point with kind of talking with this is we have a variety of type of pain receptors in your peripheral nervous system there itself. So I'm going to stop screen sharing here.
Okay, I'll flip it back to me.
So what does that mean to you? What does that mean to your patient? What does it mean to everybody here that has experienced pain in their life? What it means is we think of our quick fibers, so our A delta fibers as our quick guys, or A beta, whatever one you want to think of, it doesn't really matter. A delta are more pain specific, that's when I'm talking about them. So if I touch the stove, what I'm going to feel is probably a quick pain sensation, like really, really quick. And then we won't talk about the reflex that happens, but I'll withdraw my hand. Mm-hmm. And then what you'll feel is that everybody's felt this, that delayed pain that starts to happen like seconds later.
Yeah.
That's those C fibers actually kicking in saying, hey, I think something happened here.
Something's wrong.
you should think about what's going on. So my point with that exercise, and we all have done that in our lives. I think most people burnt themselves at some point.
Yes.
Or I think most people stub their toe on something. So the same thing, you smash your toe into the corner of the coffee table, you get that instant pain, that kind of withdrawals reflex. Part of that is reflexive. We don't even think about withdrawing from the hazard.
Yeah.
Same with the pain analogy. It is reflective. The stove analogy. And then what happens is that killer pain that kicks in, you start like swearing at everything in the room.
Yeah.
Afterwards, more of that C fiber pain, nociception that starts to kick in past that point as well. So that's a quick example of the difference between C fibers and A delta fibers, which are pain specific, in picking up that information there itself.
Yeah, that's quite interesting because like I know that reflex keeps you safe.
Yeah.
Pain's it.
So part of it is you need a lightning quick reflex to stay alive in this world from a pain perspective.
Yeah.
I often get questions sometimes that people say, okay, wouldn't it be good if you didn't experience pain? Well,
No.
Probably not. You would probably live a very unhealthy life, and you'd probably, you'd have a lot of problems throughout your life just from getting in hazardous situations. So having said that, pain is protective. We definitely know that from a healthy functioning nervous system, pain is totally protective. It allows us to get out of situations. It also allows us to be feeling our body, kind of what's going on from that perspective as well. So those are a little bit of a breakdown of the two kind of nerve cells in the system as well. Okay, so we're on the background information still, which is kind of important. And I think we're about 10 minutes in already, so I'm going to keep us quickly moving along here because there's a lot of stuff to cover. But I won't be too long on this. I don't want to bore you all. But we are going to talk about a little bit of central sensitization and the different pain sensations there itself. Okay, so I think we'll talk about the three main ones that are kind of out there. So you'll probably hear nociception. So we'll keep that in our bag, nociception.
Yes.
The next group is why am I going blank here? Nociception, central sensitization. There you go. That's our next type of pain sensation. And then there also is neuropathic pain as well. So those are three different types of pain sensations for a more broad classification kind of standpoint. Okay, so nociception, and I wish I could be more interactive with these platforms, but unfortunately I can't. Maybe I don't know if I can ask a question, but nociception. Does anybody know the difference between nociception and pain without kind of looking it up?
Let's see, 20 seconds.
Yeah, I'll give it 20 seconds. Maybe some of our students can
There's
type
some
in.
physios, new grads. My son is in this one.
Yeah,
My
he should know.
biological son.
Brandon should know.
He's not actually my son. That's like an inside joke.
Yeah, Rob should know too.
I feel like he's my son. All my children.
Yeah.
Isn't that a show, a soap opera?
All my children.
All my children.
All in the family. I think that's what you're thinking.
No, there is all my children, I think. I don't watch too many soap operas, but.
Yeah, so I think, so the difference between nociception and pain. So remember, the pain experience involves nociception and the brain processing what's going on. And remember, nociception is only the potential of pain. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess what's a good way of interpreting that? You got a good analogy? I got a good one.
You probably got the analogy for this one. I don't.
So the way I've heard of it, and I actually had a past student that gave me this one, so shout out to her.
Oh wow, student.
So think about nociception as a guard dog, and think about the guard dog. Every time the mailman goes by your house, it's going to bark at the mailman. Anybody that walks by a house is going to bark at it.
Yeah.
Not necessarily if that person's going to break in or not. What you have to do as the owner, hearing the dog bark, the brain has to interpret, is that a safe person that's going to come by, or is that somebody that's going to actually be a threat inside your house, right? So the brain is the pain experience. Nociception, the guard dog, is the potential of a painful experience happening there as well. So that's simple terms.
That's a pretty good way to explain. I'm going to use that. Nociception
is just the possibility of a painful experience. And remember, nociception is picked up by those two receptors, peripheral neurons that we kind of talked about, A delta and C fibers. They only give information to the central nervous system of what might happen. Okay. Neuropathic pain, I'm not going to get too much specific into that. Maybe we'll have a day on that or something. But Neuropathic pain is its own league of its own, meaning that there's damage to either nerve cells or there is some sort of disease that's going on that's contributing to the breakdown of nerve cells there itself. So think about your, oh no, what's going on?
Oh, shoot. Why is this happening? What the heck?
Sorry, Zoom people, again, I apologize. We're having some technical difficulties today.
Super technical. Live. Jeez.
Sorry, just bear with us.
I'm gonna Google this.
Everybody, just give us a few seconds. We'll hopefully get back online here.
So sorry about this.
I feel like we were on a good roll too.
Yeah, was it longer than
Sorry, everybody. We'll welcome you back here. Same thing. We'll give it a few seconds for everybody to load.
I'm currently Googling the problem because so everyone, if anyone knows why this is kicking me out alive, please respond. Jeez. Getting kicked out of live. I'm Googling this right now.
I think we're getting, again, censored from the man.
Getting kicked out of Instagram live.
It might be a broadband issue, who knows, but. So I guess it's good because you can reflect on some of the information, which is not a bad.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening. So.
Okay, all good. So we'll continue where we left off. So neuropathic pain, so think about your diseases that can cause that. Think about a crush injury. Think about people that will lose a limb. Think about damage to the peripheral nervous system. So anything that causes a problem, you'll get pain. That's totally different. Typically characteristics of these guys are burning and numbness and pain at the same time. That's actually a key characteristics. You will get numbness and pain at the same capacity. I'm not going to go in the mechanism behind of why that's the case, but that's a key kind of mechanism of neuropathic type pain. Okay, our last group, and I think this is probably where most people are interested in, is central sensitization. Now, that's probably a word that some people have heard about. Having said that, there is a newer word that's kind of being used more in research now. It's nocioplastic pain, which throws another word into the mix there. Okay. So where we're getting with this is that the central nervous system, when you are in pain for longer periods of time, the word we like to use for this is persistent. Generally, what the literature suggests is any pain that's been lasting more than about 3 months' time is generally known as chronic pain. I know that 3 months is not a ton of time as far as people might think of experienced pain there itself, but from what the literature kind of suggests, that's when we fall into that persistent chronic pain category there itself. Okay, so as far as central sensitization or nocioplastic type changes, and why nocioplastic is being used more, nocioception, we talked about that potential of pain, that's what it means. We also kind of talked about, we didn't talk about, but neuroplasticity, suggesting that your nervous system can learn over time, including your central nervous system changes over time when managing pain for longer periods. Okay, I'm going to quickly draw down just a quick mechanism. Again, I'm not an artist, so.
I promise I'm paying attention, but I'm also looking at why Instagram Live is kicking me out after, I don't know, 10 minutes. So if we end again, I promise it's not my fault. This hasn't happened before, so it isn't showing competence on. What the heck?
Sorry, Zoom people, we're having a day today.
This is not. Maybe I should. Do you think I should just disconnect from Wi-Fi and use my?
Yeah, maybe try that.
Network?
Yeah, let's try that.
Just in case, it can't be
Do you have enough to like stream?
I don't know how much memory this is going to take, but
No, I meant like, do you have enough data?
I don't know. That I do not know.
I don't think streaming actually takes up too much.
No? Okay, I'll turn on. Shit. I mean, shoot. So I just got a message from somebody saying it's happening to a lot of people.
Okay.
So I turn Wi-Fi off. Okay.
Well, I will prep my next beautiful picture in the meantime.
Yes, and I will. Okay, I've disconnected from. Let's just see what happens. So live yet again, live. All right, guys. So apparently there's an issue going on with Instagram. So it's not our fault. 3 to 5 seconds. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, guys. Again and again and again. Oops. I don't want to say it's Instagram's fault because then they'll probably cut us out again. But so got a message from a colleague said that this is happening to a few other people that they know. So it must just be like an issue on their end.
Might be a heavy server day for them.
Maybe they need to call Amazon and purchase more bandwidth or whatever.
Yeah, however that works.
As Amazon owns everything these days. So
yeah.
We'll give another minute. So sorry again, like if it disconnects, we'll try it again. And if it happens too much, then we will, try streaming it on data versus it's good suggestion, Elaine. I just did that.
Yeah.
Perfect. So, yeah. So sorry, guys. That's the good suggestion. So we're streaming this on my data, our data.
Business's data.
Actually, not even. I'm taking it easy on business costs, so I'm paying for this. So sorry again, guys. We're gonna kind of start where we left off, and I'll share a link to the Zoom recording, and that way you can still see what we've been doing. If it kicks us out again, then we'll reconnect. So yeah, it looks like there's an Instagram issue, Brooke. Or we could even go to our Zoom. So if you go to on our Facebook page, there is a link.
Oh, so we're getting people join us on Zoom.
So you could join us on Zoom as well. There is a link on our Facebook page, and you could join in on that. That way, you won't be disconnected over and over and over again. So sorry again, and we'll continue while I do some research.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah. So I'll just start kind of picking up where we left off last time, last series before we got cut off. And what we're talking about essential sensitization, no osteoplastic pain changes. Okay. Remember I talked about it's a learned change, and when I say learn, it's plastic changes that are happening, plasticity changes that are happening in the central nervous system. Remember, the central nervous system includes the brain and the spinal cord. So where we're going to look at first of all with my crude diagrams, I should actually get Rob to like publish art for us or something. He should be our like
put it on the wall.
Okay, so Zoom people, we're going to take a look here real quick. So on my first little top area here, I have my, let's call it an alpha, not alpha, a delta fiber, and then, or a C fiber, it doesn't matter. And then this is our central nervous system, that is our spinal cord. And then on the bottom here, it's just zoomed into what's going on there of our two neurons synapting on each other. I'm going to get that in a bit. And Instagram people, I hope you heard that as well. On the top there, we got like a fiber coming in. So those are afferent fibers, like an A delta, doesn't matter, and synapsing in the central nervous system of the spinal cord there itself. Okay. So when that happens, remember talking about the learned pain experience over time. And when I mean learned pain experience in the central nervous system, what actually happens is there are biochemical changes. And remember, a synapse happens due to a biochemical exchange in the synapse there itself, okay? And I keep saying remember because it feels like I'm teaching, but I'm not. So you might be hearing this for the first time from this as well. So a synapse means that there's an exchange of Something's going on over there.
Oh, noises.
Neuropeptides that attach to the proper receptors on the other side, okay? This causes a stimulus which causes things to go down the line, okay? On nerve cells, in general, your big ones there that will receive the information of the neuropeptides are going to be your Ampa receptors, so AMPA receptors. Those are the common ones that are going to receive those neuropeptides. I'm not going to get into specifically. So those are more prevalent onto the area. So what happens over time? Let's say this pain area starts to ramp up. You start experiencing it for more and more months that's coming into the central nervous system there itself. What happens is you're probably going to guess there's going to be more and more stimulus coming down and starts to release more peptides over time. Now, I said Ampa receptors are kind of on the surface here. What happens is there is a reuptake or there's an increased Ampa receptors. Well, we also see from a neuroanatomy perspective, biochemical perspective, is we actually start to see an uptake in Nmda receptors as well, okay? Nmda, just from a quick biomechanical, sorry, I'm gonna let somebody in here. Perfect. From a quick, biochemistry standpoint, Nmda receptors take a little bit more oomph to get activated. They are magnesium guarded, which means they just take more energy. Oh no, oh shoot.
Son of a gun. No, I don't want to share that. Looks like it's just Instagram.
Looks like we got an Instagram problem here, so awesome Zoom people, thanks for keeping tuned in here. So maybe I'll continue my presentation, but might as well, hey Sunny, with my Zoom peeps.
Yeah, continue on.
Yeah, okay, so like I said, there's an uptake and then NMDA receptors, and we actually see changes in the central nervous system, okay? Now those are changes in the like I said, in the spinal cord, but those are changes that we start to see with central sensitization. So from a quick lesson there, that's changes that we start to see from the central nervous system there as well, okay? Also, what we start to see with central sensitization is changes in the brain. We start to see that certain areas are more active. And if we look at like a functional MRI study, we would see that there is changes that start to change in the brain as well, meaning things has become more picked up. And we're gonna get this next person in here as well. Awesome. Things start to get more picked up in the brain there as well, okay? So that is gonna be central sensitization in a nutshell, okay? I'm gonna break down one more term before we kind of move on to the next part here. One more term is gonna be peripheral sensitization, okay? Most people have experienced peripheral sensitization. They just haven't probably thought of the word for it in their life. And what peripheral sensitization is a sensitization of the peripheral neurons, mostly due to inflammation, okay? Think about you sprain an ankle, things start to get quite inflamed. What actually ends up happening is those areas are just more sensitive to those receptors in the area due to local biochemical changes that will be produced. So that's also peripheral sensitization, which is different than central sensitization there as well.
And everyone on Instagram, just go to our last Facebook post. Sorry, I switched the camera. Go to our last Facebook post and go on the link. So there's a link that's shared that takes you to the Zoom app, which is the same video. Looks like Instagram's having some issues and it keeps kicking out quite a few people out of their live posts. So
yeah. And if you're curious and you don't have a Zoom account, actually, if you just open on a browser, it'll open it for you. You don't even need to worry about downloading anything. It will do it.
Yeah, so try to switch to Zoom if you can. Go on Facebook and yeah, the link is there. That's probably the easiest way to do it.
Yeah.
But I assume it's going to kick us out again and again. So
okay,
go on Zoom, guys.
Yeah, if you can. If you find me interesting, then that's good there as well. Okay, so we're going to move on to our next section here, which I think is more clinically relevant to clinicians and also patients. So how do we manage pain, okay? measuring pain. We're gonna start with measurement first. So the first scale, I'm sure you guys have all seen in your life, when you go to a doctor's office or maybe even a physio's office, you're gonna probably see this guy here. So here we go, Zoom world, Instagram world. You've seen this scale. I know you have, and again, it's
Backwards.
it's backwards, but you've all seen this one, right? Coming in today, how would you rate your pain between 0 and 10, okay? 0 being no pain, and 10 being the worst pain of your life, okay? I'm sure we've all seen that. Now, I'm gonna word it another way, okay? And you guys see if you pick up the difference here, and you can see one of the problems with this measurement scale. Coming in here today, I want you to rate your pain from a 0 to 10, 0 being minimum pain, 10 being the worst pain in your life. Sunny, did you pick up the difference between those two ways I phrased it?
Sorry, I was typing on the.
That's okay.
I was telling people about the link.
Yeah,
Apologies.
that's okay. Sunny's our like tech support today. He's the guy that's like running around.
I'm really earning my $0 of pay right now.
So what happens if you guys pick that up and the way I worded it can actually change my measurement of what I just gave on the scale here. Meaning I used the first anchoring word was 0 being no pain. And the second time when I said it, I said 0 being minimum pain. How would you rate your pain coming in here today? Now, of course, that changes the way that you as a patient or a clinician is going to gather information on what we call a visual analog scale. For clinicians wise, you can always look up the difference between a visual analog scale and a numeric pain response scale. Just Google it, you get some more information. Visual analog, typically what we'll do is we'll measure the distance that people will kind of tick off as they kind of enter their pain on the scale there versus a numeric response scale. Usually you'll just take a whole number. So when I say 0 to 10, you would say 0, 10, blah, 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 okay? Having said that, this way of measuring pain is like actually one of the best ways we got, unfortunately, in more of a clinical atmosphere. But there's a ton of problems as I just kind of demonstrated with that anchoring effect from that end as well. So that's kind of the measurement wise as far as a numeric response scale and also what we call a VAS, visual analog scale. Now there's a ton of more specific ways to be measuring pain there itself. And one of what's getting more and more popular, and this is its own area of research, is getting scales that are of course valid and reliable, but also addressing people's function and also people's perspectives towards pain there itself. Oh, we got another person in the list here.
It's still kicking me out on Instagram. I'm just gonna.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Got a good group going here. And those pain scales are getting more popular nowadays because they involve function within it as well. So Zoom people, just give me 1 second. I'm going to share my screen because I'm going to start talking about the scales there itself.
I'm gonna pull
give
up
me 2 seconds. Oops.
Okay, so everyone can see this. Whoever's on, type in that link right there. And you can connect on Zoom. Zoom's gonna be the best way, so right here. So everyone go to that link, type in that link.
Sorry, Zoom people, I'm just trying to bring this up on my laptop, which has a ton of tabs open right now.
HTTPS. I'm gonna type in the whole link.
Okay, so Zoom people, I'm gonna share my screen with you. Okay, awesome. So you should all be able to see my screen here and what we see with more of our modern pain measurement scales, okay? Now, like I said, measurement is always a problem because it's subjective. Wouldn't it be amazing if we could have a blood test and you could see how much pain somebody was in? Unfortunately, that just does not exist because, again, pain is a personal experience, right? As we talked about in our first part of our lecture today. Okay, so rating scales are really based in, they're strongly based in what we call the biopsychosocial applications that are some of that's kind of a neat perspective. It's already, happening as far as looking at managing pain over the last little bit. It just, what it allows is kind of looking at different factors, including biological factors, psychological factors, and social factors into how we measure pain, okay? So this is where these more modern frameworks, questionnaires go in. So clinicians, the OMPQ, or the Orbero-Musculoskeletal Pain Questionnaire, is something you might be thinking to use in practice as far as more of those complex cases, complex chronic pain cases. Not going to go into the scoring, but it just kind of talks about just average pain. It starts talking about more social factors, which is important with managing pain there as well. It starts to dive into perceptions on pain and attitudes towards, exercise and the way you're thinking about it. So clinicians out there, yeah, the OMPQ is probably up there as far as a measurement tool that you might be thinking of using to look from pain there as well.
On the link for the Zoom.
Okay, now if you guys haven't seen it specifically to low back pain, the clinicians and everybody out there as well, the Start Back is also very popular. My opinion of why to use it, the Start Back tool, is use it as like a quick screening. It takes a patient less than maybe like 3 minutes to fill it out. It starts to look at those biopsychosocial factors. And what it's neat about the Start Back, you can peel components from it. And let's say they have a really high, scoring in one area as far as psychological factors. Okay, great. I might want to dive into that. I'm going to look at the pain catastrophizing scale or something different to start to open up and take a look at those factors there as well. Okay. So that's kind of measurement in a nutshell. Again, from a patient standpoint, these outcome measures aren't there to to scare you or to think about think about things, but it actually opens the narrative too when we're trying to communicate between therapists and patient as well. It allows us to bring in points, right? Question 9 on here, I actually didn't think about how much I've been bothered over the last week due to my pain. Now that I start to think about it, I'm not feeling quite good about it. So it opens the narrative for conversations, which is helpful in any pain management process there as well. Okay. All right. So I think we're gonna we had some technical issues today, but I think we're gonna keep management relatively short, and then maybe next week we'll dive into maybe we'll do that next week. We'll dive into a bigger component of management. Yeah. Just for those that are interested.
So everyone, go on to the last Facebook post for the link for Zoom. I can't keep stressing that enough.
Yeah, there we go.
Just go onto Zoom, because this is going to keep ending. Instagram's having some issues.
Some issues with their live right now.
Because I've heard from other people going live, and they've also had some issues with connecting. So sorry, guys. Go on Zoom, find our our Facebook page, and then and go from there.
Okay. So I'm going to keep management relatively within 5 minutes. And like I said, I think next week, let's do a bigger one. And then you can contribute as well. Not so much as meaning that, like, not being mean. I'm here laughing.
Oh, gosh.
I mean, as like your perspective as a clinician.
Yes, for sure.
Exactly.
Sorry, I've been sending text messages to people to
so
link.
I'm gonna keep it within 5 minutes. So modern management in physical therapy is well rooted in the biopsychosocial model. Okay, if we're relying on X-rays and imaging and looking at from a biomedical perspective, you're probably a step behind already of how you want to be managing more persistent pain cases there as well. Okay, I'm not going to get to why that's the case. We can have a whole research day on talking about over-imaging, but remember, it's well rooted in the biopsychosocial framework. Okay, as clinicians and patients kind of going into physical therapy treatment, or sorry, let's talk about assessment and managing pain there itself. Remember, it takes time, okay? Clinicians out there, it takes time. If you have an assessment that takes you an hour to an hour and a half, it's going to happen. You know, to properly open up the narrative between patients and yourself, I don't think you can do it in a 5-minute interview or a 10-minute interview. There's often things that we need to open up and kind of talk about, and 5 minute, 10 minutes subjective history isn't going to cut it. You'll probably be, you know, looking more longer time as far as that goes. Okay. The second kind of part is I'm going to leave you with a little bit of peace and a kind of perspective towards pain management as well. And let's take a quick kind of we'll talk real quickly about a little bit of grounding. Okay. So grounding comes from more cognitive behavioral therapy. So we're kind of looking more of the psychosocial components of managing pain there itself. And by no means am I an expert in cognitive behavioral therapy, or do I think I know a lot about acceptance commitment therapy. However, I'm going to give a real quick, simple thing as far as that you can do it as a therapist. We'll do a bit of an example here, okay? So grounding is actually important because it kind of puts us into the present moment, whether we're in a very painful, frustrating situation. You know, we're running 5 minutes behind our appointment. You know, the parking spaces are all taken up in the parking lot, and you're coming in, you're super, you know, mad. You as a physio, you might be mad as well because you're about 5-10 minutes behind. So one is a bit of a grounding exercise and talking a little bit about goal setting. So the first thing is kind of just thinking about the senses around you. So typically I'll say as a ground exercise you can do as homework as well, is visually look at something. So you guys can do it at home as well. You can look at a piece of painting on the wall. You can, you know, start to really think about that visual picture. Next, what I want you to do, if you got like a pen or something around you, I'm going to use my pen here, is I want you to start to feel the texture of the pen there itself. My marker here is pretty smooth on the top. There's a bit of a rubber piece. So I'm thinking about that perspective, or I'm thinking of how that starts to feel there as well. So I got a tactile feedback. Next is I want you to hear around your room. Yeah, start to get a bit of the audio input. In the clinic where I'm in right now, I can hear some background music. I can hear a bit of the cars driving by a little bit on the outside. So using those senses as a bit of a grounding can just bring you into the present moment there itself. That's a good technique as far as, like I said, when things are getting kind of out of hand, as far as, you know, when the pain is getting a little bit up there, a little bit of a grounding is a good thing there as well. Okay. All right, so I'm going to actually cut it off there today as far as management, and I think next week I'm going to dive into more of like a full 30-minute type thing as far as management techniques go with pain there as well. I hope that the neuroanatomy and background helped a little bit. Again, those are about like 5 minutes, a little bit less time than you could take hours and days kind of talking about that kind of stuff. And then I hope some of the outcome measurement stuff helped a little bit there as well, as far as with the pain. So I'm going to give a shameless plug here, not so much plug. It's all the clinicians out there that are physiotherapists. If you're not registered, I'm actually going to share my screen here. Give me 2 seconds. You might have gotten the email if you are registered, is my point, from the College of Physical Therapists. Okay, we got a webinar coming up in PT Alberta. I hope that actually everybody could join. So it's my supervisor, Greg Hotchuk, and the research that I'm involved in the U of A, and we'll be continuing to kind of build off of the GladBack and GladBack programs, kind of what they are. They are pain management programs for chronic issues. Yeah, join us April 9th. Time is 8 a.m. So super early in the morning. So that'd be kind of a neat little thing, talk about more of the research side, what's going on from that end there. Okay, awesome. I'm going to open up to questions for a little bit for the next, maybe 5 minutes or so. So let's try this. So Zoom, I think, is the only platform we're running on right now.
Yeah.
So I think just for everybody that's listening at home, There, you click on chat in the bottom of your screen. If you're on a phone, there's a little chat button there as well. And you can type in a message if you have any questions to the group. Or if you can't do it, you can unmute yourself and you can also ask as well.
And yes, we'll try to do another day next week in which we do a little bit more on this topic. If
Yep.
Brandon's okay with that, we'll try to figure out a day. We'll launch a schedule. So again, sorry about it, the Instagram issue, but this is recorded, so we'll share a link and we'll do a little bit more next week. We'll do a quick recap maybe and kind of get into some clinical stuff.
Yeah, so we have a question, can you send a link for upcoming presentation? Yes, I'm going to, how should we do this? I think, because this is a public chat room, so what we can do here, Kristen, is we can you DM our Instagram with your email? And then we can, I'll send a link through that. And actually, Sunny, I'm sure you're okay with it. We can promote it on our Instagram as well.
Yeah, if you can, yeah.
That's fine. That. Yeah, so follow us Instagram, Facebook. We'll promote that. We will have that presentation available through that end as well. So we got another question here. What can family members do to support those in chronic pain? So that's another big issue, right? I think the caregiver burden for people in chronic pain is a huge factor. There's a huge socioeconomical factor with chronic pain there as well. That's a really good question. I think you can listen. I think listening is important. I think finding and navigating to get the proper help is important too. I think early intervention into chronic pain management is super important. So I think those are important factors for the support with chronic pain. But yeah, it's kind of getting the right information quickly as possible so you can get started a multidisciplinary pain management program for those family members. Awesome. I hope that helped a little bit there. Mm-hmm. Perfect. Oh, here we go. All right, so if a patient comes to see you for an assessment and feel a pain education approach is going to be the most beneficial, do you still do a physical assessment or hold off on that? Yeah, good question. I've had assessments, no word to lie, that's lasted probably an hour and a half. It's just subjective. And I actually think I get most of my information that I need to get from the assessment there itself. I will usually, this is my approach, is I usually try and collect that data as much as possible from the outcome measures and of course my subjective history from that. I usually start them on some pain management strategies, education wise, whether it's packages or websites. I will get some websites together for some management information for everybody. Next time. And usually what I'll do is next time I see them, then I'll do a bit of a physical assessment, nothing like too crazy, and then start to dive into the exercise active treatment from that end. Very, very, very minimally do I actually do a lot of manual stuff within probably my first little bit, if ever, with those patients. But usually my physical assessment is mostly seeing what their capacity and what they can do from a movement-based perspective. Yeah, I hope that helps a little bit.
That's a good one.
Really good. Awesome. Yeah, good. Good to hear. Okay. Other than that, is there any other burning questions out there in the Zoom? Okay, yeah, so I think that's kind of where we're at right now. So next week, what I'll do then is I will focus more on a management strategy perspective and for clinicians and patients. And I'll also be given a bunch of references, or no references, but management, yeah, reference type stuff that anybody can be access to that are readily available through the interwebs nowadays.
Yes, it's not, which is not working properly today.
Yeah.
And then direct message me for links for this. We recorded it on Zoom. And then Brandon, you can send me a link or like a nice image of that presentation that's happening, and then I can share it on our stories every day.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. And I'm sorry that we're cutting out a little bit, but I hope you learned something.
Yes, I have.
And yeah, hopefully we'll see you tomorrow. I think what we got on board for tomorrow, Sunny.
Tomorrow we have knee pain.
Knee pain.
So
there we go.
Focus on running and things like that. I think Rob will be in attendance. I don't know about you. You got a lot of
We'll see.
stuff to do. So
see what happens.
Knee pain, and I'm going to open it up to a lot of questions for tomorrow. So yeah.
Awesome. Thanks, everybody. Have a good rest of your day. Cheers.